Alex Jones is one of the only people that have ever, like, snuck into Bohemian Grove. And he said he went to the main gate and crawled down through the swamp and got into, like, the main parking area, where he then climbed onto a truck that was, because they were driving, like, you get on these trucks at the main parking area, and then they'll drive you whatever camp you're in. So he, like, snuck on one of these trucks and drove down to one of the camping areas, and he ended up getting into this ritual, and he, like, hid behind a building out of sight and filmed it. And now we get this absolutely awful video footage of this ritual taking place. You can't see anything that's going on. It's really, really bad. You can barely see, like, some flames and some people standing around.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, the child, which is a fake child, getting lit on fire. But it still screams.
Dude, I tried so hard, like, because I was looking forward to finally watching this Alex Jones documentary he did. I could not watch the whole thing. I watched, like, bits and pieces. Because, like, I just can't take the dude seriously. I love watching him, like, on Joe Rogan and stuff, but as an investigator, he's an extremist.
Yeah.
But he's right about a lot of stuff. Like, whenever he had that one claim that there's pesticides making frogs gay.
What? Now, you gotta explain whatever that was.
Because, like, the way he'll word things makes him sound crazy, but there really are pesticides that change frogs' genders. I guess it's so maybe they don't, like, populate like crazy and do whatever to the plants needing pesticides, but...
That's crazy. What?
I mean, there's truth in that. So, like, I feel like there's a truth in everything he says, but he just words things so outrageously.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I have, like, a little slide of some things that, like, insiders have said about the club. A former member said that the overriding agenda is to get so wasted every day that any reasonable person would call 911. And someone else said it's a safe haven for the elite because there's no one watching. It's a team-building experience. And members also say it's just like a giant frat party.
That's so cringe.
And then, like, when they say the no talks of business there, Eisenhower, like, our ex-president Eisenhower made a speech there, a political address that earned him a lot of support, and he ultimately got the Republican candidacy in 1950. And then, when Nelson Rockefeller wanted to run for president, he flew into the Grove to give a lakeside chat in 1963. And then, in 1967, Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon met at the Grove to work on a political deal that said Reagan would run for presidency only if Nixon didn't. And then, like, it's just obvious that politics go on. You can't hide that from us. We know, like, you stick a bunch of musicians in a room together, they're going to talk about music. You stick a bunch of politicians together, they're going to talk about politics. You put them all together, they're going to talk about running the world, which involves politics.
Agreed. And so do you think there's anything wrong with that happening? With them all being there talking about stuff like that outside of the public sphere? I guess that's what the real debate about whether this is okay or not is.
It is a problem in my eyes, but we're so used to them making decisions without us and not caring about what the public has to say. And I feel like, how do we change that? Do we just put a hammer down and say, y'all can't meet up no more. Not without eyes on you.
I just think whenever I picture, like, presidents and the rich and wealthy, and I know this is not, like, accurate, I don't picture them go and get slam drunk and, like, doing plays and stuff for a weekend. But I have, like, a high respect, I feel like, for them.
And then the fact that they're drunk as shit while they're making these decisions.
Exactly. I don't know. If y'all want to have fun, I mean, I'm sure the president has all the stress in the world and needs time to, like, relax, but I feel like this is a very weird way to do it.
But to be fair, once they're president, I don't think they go to the retreat. I mean, maybe. Because, like, apparently security there is, like, rent-a-cop for the general campground. But, like, depending on who's visiting, they bring their own security. So, like, if there is someone that's working in the White House, like, they're going to bring the fucking Secret Service.
Yeah.
What's interesting, though, is Richard Nixon. He said that his membership in the Bohemian Grove meant a lot to him, but did you watch this video where, like, in the Watergate audio or whatever, like, he says how he really felt about it?
No.
Oh my god. So, in the White House one day, it was May of 1971, Nixon was talking to two of his close aides that some of the staff called as the Berlin Wall because, like, you could not get past them to talk to Nixon. And their conversation was recorded, and they were, and, like, Nixon's talking, and he's saying how there's so much more gay people in California, and the Bohemian Grove that he attends from time to time is the most faggy goddamn thing you could ever imagine. I won't even shake hands with someone in San Francisco because they have a different set of values.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait, and like we like know that for sure was something that was said?
Oh yeah, like if you want to when you're editing this, you could probably go get the little like minute clip from YouTube and insert it right here.
Let's look at Northern California. You went there.
Yeah.
You know what's happened in San Francisco.
San Francisco's just gone.
It's clear over. I know that, but it isn't just down in the ranky part of town. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend from time to time, the Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine. A San Francisco crowd that goes in there. It's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
Really? Well, it's a different set of values.
Heard that.
Because he really said that.
I also saw something that apparently JFK was about to like spill the beans on the group, like 3 days before he got shot. But I also feel like you always hear he's about to say
Yeah.
something, then he gets shot because of it.
Yeah. There's just so much weird stuff. Then we have Ronald Reagan, who was officially inducted into the Bohemian Club in 1975, the year before he tossed his hat into the 1976 presidential campaign. And he belonged to the Owl's Nest camp, which he shared with executives from United Airlines and other companies that were powerful in the 1970s. But during the 1980 presidential election, Reagan avoided the Bohemian Grove because he thought he might be an embarrassment to our fellow Bohemians because of the round-the-clock surveillance by the press. So he didn't want to burden his club with all the eyes watching. So yeah, I guess like most presidents, once they're in office, don't really visit anymore. And then also something interesting in that Reddit thing that I saw from the server that worked there, someone asked like, who have you seen there? And she said the Zac Brown band performed one summer. And
That's such a random group.
And Guy Fieri was like doing a cooking show. Who else? There was someone else that I remembered, but I forgot, of course.
So what if it is just like a big chill party? There's nothing crazy going on there.
I don't think their goal is to like betray us every year that they go there. Cause like, did you know there's actually an international version of this called like the Bilderberg Retreat? Yeah, it's like where the world's elite meet up every year and just hang out and get drunk and just do whatever. So like, this isn't the only club like this. The world is run by the elite, honey, and there's multiple groups.
I don't know. I think the main reason why I think it's so weird is I feel like that main play they do, like that ritual. I don't know. I feel like I kind of take rituals seriously. I'm not like the most like superstitious person, but I feel like most rituals that people do have meaning and reasons behind them. And even a lot of people believe that like there's rituals that were done and that are still done, like in Washington D.C. and that has to do with like the Washington Monument. I'm gonna sound crazy going on this tangent, but y'all should look that up. The rituals that go on with the Washington Monument, because that's insane too. So I feel like that, and there's a lot of like links to the occult from the ritual that makes me kind of scared about it.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring all of that, but when I look at it, I kind of like relate it back to whenever I had to go to Catholic school, and like no hate to like any Catholics out there, like this was just what I was forced to do as a child, but like the little religious ceremonies that you have to take a part in, like there's like a thing involving Mary where they picked like one girl and one guy to be Mary and Joseph, and then all of us were like, I don't know, slaves, and like we had to like dress up and do this whole thing, walk around the parking lot, or like your first communion. Like I feel like as a member of the Bohemian Club, maybe they feel like how I did as a student, like, oh dang, like here's this annual ordeal we gotta dress up for and just do the damn thing.
Yeah. I see that, but like still those rituals that you did then had like meaning and significance in the same way I feel like this has a meaning and significance that maybe is more than just let's cast your cares away. It's like they're burning a whole body and wearing robes. Like, that's weird. I mean, it's not a real body.
If it's a real body, it's weird. And the
it's not weird that they're burning a fake body and like performing a fake blood sacrifice. Like, that's not weird.
I mean, you're talking to someone that enjoys going to the House of Shock. So like, fake dead things don't bug me that much.
Could you imagine if we found out like Trump was like burning a fake body in his backyard? Like, it'd be the end of the world.
I mean, that's a little bit different. That is one isolated, already almost psychopathic man burning a dead fake body in his backyard. That's more questions.
Alright, what we got after this?
Apparently, Bush, like, I think Daddy Bush.
Daddy Bush, don't ever say that.
I saw something where like they were talking about foreign policies at the campground around the time that America got involved in like the Middle Eastern wars and stuff, and they kept saying we can't let the unqualified masses make decisions. So there's like little sketchy things throughout the speeches of these people that just make you wonder, like, what are your motives? Like, a lot of people do connect this to the New World Order type of thing. Like, this is where everyone that's contributing to America going into the New World Order meets up. Dude, and I also saw, I know Jay-Z isn't an official member of the Bohemian Club, but, like, I just saw this TikTok, and it reminded me of our Illuminati episode, and God, I wish I comprehended it when I watched it, because it was really telling. It had to do with this thing, like, this whole symbol, like, really is, like, a Satanist symbol, because, like, I don't know. Y'all look into it if you listen to the Illuminati episode.
Much like kind of what we're saying, a lot of these things that we covered, like New World Order, Illuminati, Bohemian Grove, I feel like they all are very similar in that there's this small group of elite people that are all meeting up and have this secret society together. I feel like it's also very similar with like the Freemasons. And there were presidents in the past, like even Reagan, who was part of a group like this, and JFK, who talked about the danger of secret societies.
Yes. I did see a lot of stuff where like JFK was trying to open everyone's eyes about secret societies. And then we all know what happened to him. Like, I want to do a whole podcast on just, like, the JFK death.
I do, too.
Or assassination. I feel like when it's that high tier, you gotta call it an assassination.
Oh, it's yeah.
But, like, I don't really have that much more on Bohemian Grove because I only wanted to include information that was, like, solid. Because there's so much conspiracy obviously around it. Like, yes, you can totally convince me that there's all these rich ass Americans that are gonna meet up at this club and make decisions for everyone, and I totally believe it. I just think sometimes people look into it too much, and then like when you just surround yourself with conspiracy, it makes you go crazy, and then you think there's really something going on there, when really it could just be all these drunk people, or rich people getting drunk. But I feel like once in a blue moon, some political talk goes on there that does influence how our politics go.
And I don't know if that's always a horrible thing, because I heard somebody say this earlier, like, a lot of business and political decisions are made, like, on the golf course or at a bar.
Yeah.
So, like, what's really the difference of it being here or there? Like, you don't have to be sitting in an office room to discuss politics and what your plans are.
Like, I have this one slide, it's got, like, all the members. Like, when you think of all of these types of people being in one place, you have Republican presidents, because like the club is mostly Republican. I don't know why it's so hard for me to talk today. Maybe it's the coffee. I don't know. But there's some Democrats that go, but it's mostly very conservative. So we've got the politicians, the CEOs of big corporations, including major financial institutions, military contractors, oil companies, banks, including the Federal Reserve, and national media. Then you have the artists, the actors, musicians, like Mark Twain has been in it, Clint Eastwood. That's really like the only two that stuck out to me. But like, and then, you know how I've brought up how America was basically run by the 5 most powerful families?
Mm-hmm.
3 of those, the Bushes, the Morgans, and the Rockefellers, are part of the club. So like when you have all those people meeting up every year, it's hard to believe that they're not making decisions that like, because they probably like own parts of each other's corporations and like donate to things that benefit their allies, and it's very cliquey and very slimy, I feel like, almost. Like, everything about being rich and elite in America is slimy, I'm sorry. Like, you've got so much wealth that if y'all just all collectively gave it to the world, you could, I don't know, cure world hunger. But